We're live. Okay. Bonsoir, Annie. Good evening. I'd like to start the meeting by acknowledging that we are in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people in the Robinson-Huron Treaty area and wish to recognize the neighboring community of Dokis First Nations. While we meet today, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral unceded territory of all Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. So I need to call this meeting to order, and I need a resolution to adopt the agenda. Moved by Dean and Renee. Now I'm going to move, just to let you know, 6.5, Andrea, to reports right away so that we don't keep you too long. Okay, you're welcome. All those in favor? Thank you. Do we have to, I can't see Randy, is that him? Randy, put your picture on. There we go. All right. Okay. Any disclosure of pecuniary interests? Seeing none. Then I'm going to move, we're going to get into the reports and the items for consideration tonight. And we'll start with you, Andrea, with the adoption of the bylaw to implement the AMPS.
Thank you. And thanks everyone. By shifting this forward, I can make it to 2 council meetings in one night. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So we've already discussed the AMPS bylaw in a couple meetings ago. I think that there was a suggestion to make a change to the wording, which was on page 9 of the bylaw. I'm not sure what page it is within the.
That's on page 15 of the package. So it's under 7.5.
Thank you.
B.
Yeah, and perhaps, well, this was brought up by Mayor Pajot, if you wanted to speak to the amendment you wanted to make.
Sure. My suggestion is to change B to read good communication and interpersonal skills. And the reason good character is a judgment call and has been a question in the courts and in other arbitrations as to what makes a good character. And again, it's too subjective. Whereas if you change it to having good communication and interpersonal skills, there's a way of measuring that. So it's just to be clear and not to confuse anybody or get anybody to get us to try to define what's a good character and what's not. So it's communications and interpersonal skills. Yeah. So a person basically that can speak to other people well and communicate with them and work with them, as we know that that people who are going to be in the screening or hearing positions, they need to be able to talk to people and listen to them. So so that's my suggestion. And that was the only change I saw. The rest of it I thought was great.
Thank you. And we thought that was a great addition as well. In good character does sound a little bit too open. So other than that, Mel, did you want to say anything to this? Because you've been so involved in the review as well. Yeah. So from what you saw before, it was mostly formatting. So I guess we'll open it up to any further questions from this further review that council has been able to have a chance to do. But yeah, we do think that this is a very good example based on what other municipalities are putting forward. There's been a lot of research into the bylaw itself and also into the processes. And this will actually be the first municipality of the 3 that I work with to go ahead and pass this bylaw, with the other two following close behind within the next month or so. So if you have any questions, I'll just open it up to council now.
Any questions? So what's the process now? So we passed it tonight, and then an appointment of a screening officer, a recommendation is going to come to council for that, who we're going to appoint. And then are we going to post and advertise for the hearing officer? Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. One more thing that I'd like to add that we changed from the last meeting through discussion through staff is for the process of requesting a review by screening officer. The process that was in the draft bylaw that you've seen last time was that any person that received a penalty could request a review by email, by phone. So we added to the process a little bit to include a form. So any person that wants to request a review has to go through a form, which it ensures that the application is complete for the reasons and that we receive all the information at that point to be able to process through the review. Oh, and in the bylaw, the way that the wording was presented was that the screening review would be in person every time. So every person that would request a review, the meeting would be in person. We are suggesting that the review be done in writing so that we received the application, the complete application with all the information that we need, and that the screening officer can review the penalty request review and submit the answer in writing. If the screening officer sees that there's a need to meet the person or call the person for further information, then the screening officer has that ability to do that. Or if the person requests an in-person meeting, then that is acceptable also. What was your other question?
About posting, are you going to post
Yes.
for
So-
the review, the hearings officer?
Yes, so once the bylaw is approved, we have prepared some wording to add it to the website to explain what this new process is compared to the process that we have now for fines. And we're going to, once that the other municipalities approve the bylaws also, we're going to recruit for a hearing officer. The screening officer, we're looking at having the screening officer in-house. So either a clerk from this municipality or another municipality that we would represent the 3 municipalities.
Okay, so then we would share even the hearings officer with the other 2 municipalities?
Yeah, that's the idea. So even once this is passed, we'll be working on that, the wording or what we're going to be putting out to basically look for the hearing officer, so that once everything's in place, we'll be able to put out that call to see who would be interested in the position. And then the idea is to share the hearing officer between all 3 municipalities because we anticipate less interaction with the hearing officer, hopefully, as long as things start getting handled well at the screening officer level. Also, you'll probably have a variety of screening officer appointments on the list so that if there's ever a situation where someone's on vacation or if there's a conflict of interest with the person who's requesting the screening, that there'll be someone else who could step in. So that's where we think it'll be helpful to have clerks from the other municipalities appointed, just for in the cases where we need someone to fill in for one of those 2 reasons.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have more than one because the time deadlines are very tight for a person to file a complaint, right? So we should be able to accommodate that.
So there is a time deadline for people to request a screening, but we haven't put in any time deadlines for us to respond. And this was fairly calculated. The provincial courts don't have a time when they have to get back to people. We will be tracking our times. We want to see how efficiently this process is working. And if someone starts to complain about, the time that we get back to them, we would like to say we are consistently getting back to people within 30 days or whatever. If we're having a hard time keeping up with the volume, then we'll definitely address that either with an increased appointment of screening officers or potentially increased staffing if this becomes something that is really an animal all on its own, which obviously would come to council first and be a much greater discussion. But we know that tracking the data will help us to show how the program is working. So that's our intention.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you changed it to writing, put it in writing for tracking purposes. Renee, did you have a question?
Well, just, do the clerks really have extra time on their hands to pick up some extra duties? Because I mean, this could start off, you know, with very little, but could end up being almost a full-time job too. I mean, so.
We hope, and you can speak to it as well, but we do see an increase in the workload. But the idea of going to the ability to just write a decision as opposed to always meeting, that was an amazing find that Mel found in other bylaws. So that will help all clerks to be able to control their timelines. Also, we hope that this is a successful program in aiding enforcement so that eventually, if we do see a huge spike in AMPs being written, that because it's such an effective process, hopefully those fines will drop because people will know that there's a process in place where there's actually a consequence. So again, we're going to track what we do. It's definitely going to be a learning experience. We know that. Yeah, but we feel like this is just the way each municipality or smaller municipalities are moving to have more control over the process and to aid enforcement. So that's kind of the goal.
Other questions? Bob. Yeah, I was looking over there for you.
Thank you. A question and a comment, just a quick, and refresh my memory. You see the other two municipalities and they are,
Charles and Killarney.
okay, thank you. And just a comment, going through the list of all the fines, the money value, you could say this one should be $10 less, that one should be $10 more, but there's over 200 there. It's a very complex and great work, and it's a starting point, and thank you for the work you put in here. That's all.
Randy, did you have anything?
Yeah, just a quick comment, if you can, on the fines list on Schedule A, Appendix 6, Section 3.16, fine for keeping more than 3 dogs. It should also state without a kennel license, I believe, just to say that, you know, if you have a kennel license, you can keep more than 3 dogs. We already covered it, but it just says they're fine for keeping more than 3 dogs. And I wonder if we could add a bit of a, you know, without a kennel license there. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Dave?
I don't have any questions, but just a comment on the
Sure.
change that you requested. I'm in favor of that. If we need to vote for that.
What I like about this is perhaps the work is going to be higher at the beginning, but then I'm hoping that people will comply. Compliance is the ultimate goal, so that, you know, our bylaw officers and whoever's doing the other officers that are handling the complaints or the decisions won't be as busy. So like any other program, the first year is always the hardest. So hopefully we'll have more people complying. So great work. I think it's good. I think it's about time. We're certainly ahead of schedule. So not schedule, but ahead of our time. And that'll make our bylaw officers' job hopefully a little easier. Thank you. Dave, did you have another? No. Okay. So with that, we do have a resolution. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Bob and seconded by Dave.
It is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that bylaw 2022-32, being a bylaw to implement administrative monetary penalty system, so the AMPS bylaw, in the municipality of French River, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so let's move. Thank you again, Andrea and Mel. I know Kevin's done some work on it as well. So thank you very much, everybody. Are you off to St. Charles now to do the same thing? Okay. Off you go. Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock. Oh, hang on, Andrea, before you
Well,
go.
it's, I don't have another. I'm just kind of curious and maybe I didn't read it all closely enough here, but as time goes on, can the bylaw be amended easily?
Yeah.
If we find that there's a need to, we've either overdone or not done enough in some instance, or the fines, maybe we feel finally come to either too much or too little, those can be changed as.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Yes, the bylaw is going to be easier to change. So the fines that, or the penalties that are included in the bylaw are going to be easier to change than the set fines, because the set fines have to be approved by the register or the court. So these fines are approved by council.
Okay.
So as we progress through the system, as we monitor or as we track, if there's some aspects of the bylaw itself, the process, or any of the set fines, then we're gonna bring them back to council for recommendation for change.
Thank you.
All right, now you can go.
Sorry, Andrea.
It's only 5 o'clock. That'll be our new line. Okay, under, we'll go back to the regular agenda. So 6.1, general government. I don't think we have anything, or do we, Madam Clerk? No. Finance, there's no report. Public Works, Environmental Services. I don't believe there's a report today. However, we'll go into 6.4, Recreation and Community Services. So we have a resolution before you to award the purchase of the playground equipment for Joe Chartrand Park. And who, Bob, I guess, will speak to it, and Renee.
Yeah, you have the report in front of you. I guess the recommendation is to award it to, I can't even read it, it's too small. CRC?
CRCS.
CRCS, sorry. My computer's too slow. For 129,796. Once we award it, we'll know more about timeline as far as when the equipment would arrive and be installed. Until that time, we can't, we don't know. We do have 100,000 in the budget, 20,000 donated from the Caisse Populaire, and more funds are expected to be donated.
That's great. Renee, did you have any comments with regards to the playground?
No, I think Bob and staff have been working hard and been out there looking, and there's been some work done. So I'm excited to have the park up and going. So hopefully we could see it done by the end of the summer. But if not, at least it's in the works for next year, depending on how long it takes to ship stuff out. So good job. Thanks, Bob.
Dave.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. I know you said you don't have a timeline until it's actually approved, but does it look promising for this year or probably not?
It looks promising for the fall.
Okay.
Well, the fall is not
this
a
year.
bad thing. Yeah, it's this year. Fall means before the snow, right? Right? No. All right. Okay, so then any other questions or comments? Randy, did you have any comments, questions?
No, just comment that I like the layout of the park. It looks really cool, and it's going to be nice for the citizens to be able to utilize the full space with the new bandstand and everything there. It's nice to see it progress finally. So it looks good. Thanks.
Thank you. So with that, I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Dave and Dean.
It is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council awards the purchase of playground equipment for Joe Chartrand Park to CRCS Recreation, which is Little Tikes Commercial Dealer, for an amount of $129,796.15 plus applicable taxes.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. There's no report from building and planning. And we do have correspondence. We have a request in front of us to grant permission to apply for a special occasion permit at Joe Chartrand Park. And it's an activity that is sponsored by Chartrand Lumber. And this activity is it's to fundraise for monies for Joe Chartrand Park so that we can install a well and bathrooms in there. So however, our bylaw, they have to apply for, explain that to me. They have to apply for a special permit and be declared a municipal activity, right?
Through you, Madam Chair. So our policies at this time don't allow any alcohol at our parks. So they are requesting for council to waive those restrictions to allow them to apply for a special occasions permit. So a special occasions permit is initially a liquor license for a public event or outdoor public event. And for them to be declared a public event, council needs to declare their event as a community event of municipal significance. So it allows them to apply for their liquor license.
Perfect. And it looks like they're planning quite a bit. I know, Renee, you're working on it.
Yeah, we're music from the day is supposed to start at 2 p.m. and go to 10 p.m. So 2 to 10. And there'll be kids sections with the bouncy castles, and there's vendors and food vendors. And yeah, we've got quite a few music acts already booked and reserved. So there will be a big outdoor tent there too for people to sit under. So yeah, we're hoping to, whatever money we raise this year, we'll donate to the municipality to hopefully we could gather enough to at least try to dig a well next year. And if not, we'll have another event next year and hopefully aim for the year after. But the process, I mean, it's 15,000 to 20,000 just for a well, and then bathrooms are a lot more than that. So we got to start somewhere. So Chartrand Lumber has been their donation to whatever we raise on that day. So it's supposed to be a free event for everybody. So hopefully, people will make donations throughout the day and we can raise funds that way.
That's perfect. Well, it's a big undertaking to organize such a big event, but I'm glad to see that happening. And thank you to Joe Chartrand, to Chartrand Lumber. And Mark, you have a comment?
Yeah, just a quick comment that it will be coming back as staff to council to recommend to forward some recommendations to our committees to work on our public spaces policies and usage, because there's been a lot of change since these policies were originally incorporated back in 2007, if I recall. And we've created new spaces, and sort of our visioning on some of the use of those spaces needs to be reevaluated. So this request has brought this up, so we'll be coming back to council.
So the process right now for tonight, because we don't have a proper bylaw, is to send it back to staff to put something together? No?
No, you're just authorizing the event,
Oh,
but we will
okay.
be coming back to council with the
With
recommendations.
a process. Okay,
I had
excellent.
a quick question, if it's okay.
Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. I was wondering about if we allow and authorize the sale of alcohol or in the park, how does the insurance company feel about that with joint several liability, Mark? Would you be able to answer our liability question at that?
At most of these events, you need a third-party insurance liability. Since this event is being organized by a third party, but is for the benefit of the municipality, we will be communicating with our insurance provider in terms of how to ensure that it's properly covered.
Thank you. I was just curious, how they felt about what was going to go on there. So thanks.
Any other questions? Dean, did you have?
Well, what the implications would be for the municipality if we shared that insurance, but I think I heard the answer.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, Bob, sorry.
No, I'm just ready to move the motion so we can move on. Oh, late,
Joking,
and
I don't watch hockey, so I don't know. I'll be sleeping. All right, so I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Bob and Dave.
Be it resolved that council agrees to waive liquor restrictions at the Joe Chatron Park for a fundraising community event to be held on Saturday, August 27th, hosted by Chatron Lumber, to allow them to apply for a special occasions permit for the event. And further, that council declares a fundraising event being held on Saturday, August 27th, hosted by Chatron Lumber as a community event of municipal significance.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Then let's move on to the consent agenda. So I need a resolution to adopt the items contained under the consent agenda. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Dean and Renee. Yep, Dean and Renee.
Be it resolved that council approves the items of the consent agenda under section 8.1.
All those in favor? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. There are no notices of motions for tonight? No? Okay, let's go announcements and we'll start with Randy in the car. Oh, he disappeared. Poof.
No, I'm here. Sorry. Shut my camera off. Nothing to really, no announcements. Just happy to be back.
Thank you. Bob.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a few notes. First thing I'd like to say, I'd like to congratulate Randy on your good showing. You made us proud, and better luck next time. I'd like to congratulate Renee. Renee was appointed to the executive of Economic Partners as the secretary on this past Monday night. Joe Chatron Park, I just had a comment. I was able to visit it, I think, 3 times last week, and there was maybe a little issue at the start because of the trees, and it looks beautiful. It doesn't show any trees are missing. And just a quick announcement that on August 20th, I'm hosting a golf tournament for Camp Quality. So there'll be more news to come in the future. Thank you.
Dean.
Oh, I don't really have anything,
All right.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Dave.
I don't have anything either, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Renee.
Thanks, Bob. I will say that congratulations to Bob too, because he is our vice president at Economic Partners. So he was appointed too, so we'll be having interesting, good 2 years ahead of us.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So besides that, this Saturday is the drive-by fish fry at the Rod and Gun Club. Also, every Saturday from now till the fall, there's the market going on from 9 till 1 or 1, I believe, at the church. So that's there's been a lot of good turnout. A lot of people are enjoying it, so that's good to see. We have Canada Day coming up at Joe Chatron Park from 4 to 8. We have music and there's bouncy castles and whole bunch of things going on and sets. So come out if you guys are free to join us. And then the fireworks will be here at the municipality around 9:30-ish when it starts getting dark. So, and that's about it for now.
All right, as for me, tomorrow's food bank, so we'll be open for those to come and pick it up. Just wanted to let council know that actually Dean went as well. I think it was last Friday. We went to see the firefighters get some training. That huge mobile was parked at the ACC, the Alban Community Center, and it was pretty impressive. Not a job I would certainly apply for, but the training is very rigorous. And so after Ruck gave me a little tour, I asked the firefighters if they wanted one of those training mobiles there, but they're only $1 million, right? So, and they all looked at me as if, can we? But really gives you an appreciation of our firefighters. And it was in collaboration with Henvey Inlet. It was Henvey Inlet's turn to get the training from the Ontario Firefighters College. And they invited our firefighters to join in with the training. They will be back in September for more training. And that humongous thing will be parked at the Public Works, correct? Mm-hmm. So I certainly encourage people to go have a look and to see what our firefighters have to go through when it comes to training. So feel pretty good about my life being in their hands. So,
Can I just make it?
Sure.
And Mayor, also, what they were learning to do, the firefighters, was to go into a burning building for rescue purposes. So they had this thing on fire and these guys had to go in there and make as if they were rescuing somebody that was trapped. And then that was kind of interesting. And boy, the firefighters were really geared up to be able to do this. It was very impressive to see this. I couldn't help but think, my wife was with me and we were thinking, geez, that's a pretty growing up fire department when they're doing this kind of thing out here in the bush like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, their bunker gear, their mask, their tank, that's got to weigh 60 pounds at least, maybe more. And I thought, oh my God, then if somebody's stuck in there, then usually it's dead weight, right? To try to carry somebody out. Pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive. And my last thing that I have tonight is something. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Just a few announcements that I'd like to inform council. First and foremost is the splash pad is officially open as of today for the summer season, just in time for the warm weather. Also, if you recall, we're part of the Rainbow Roots cycle route. You'll notice at Joe Chartrand Park, the bike station is now officially open and ready to go. So we welcome all the bikers on those routes to make their stop. And thirdly, I just want to extend a special thanks on behalf of council and staff because of the work that took place at Joe Chartrand Park this week could not have been done without the assistance in kind and monetary from two main key sponsors from the community, and that's Chartrand Lumber and Esso. Thanks to them, we were able to do the work necessary to bring that park in preparation for events, the two events that are planned, Canada Day and the concert, and also for the installation of the playground. So I just thought it was important to mention that.
Thank you. Yes, very important. So my last announcement tonight, it saddens me tonight that our audience, our permanent audience has decided to abandon us and to move further down south. And that's Peter and Angela Williams. And I have to thank you because you make a point of coming every time. And even during COVID, I know you were watching and keeping track of what council was doing. And that's pretty amazing. And for that, I truly, truly appreciate it. And I know all of council, whenever we start a meeting, where are the Williams? If you're not here on time there, we ask. Your input has been valuable too. I know, Angela, you've been working with the horticulture group, and as well, you were on the library board for I don't know how many years. When I came on, you were on as well. And Peter, your knowledge of engineering and everything else that you've been able to guide us has been second to none, and we truly appreciate that. So we couldn't say goodbye to you without giving you a little something. So I would ask you to come up, the two of you. Go to the mic. We only came for coffee. Yeah. Oh, you're sweet. So both of you, can you come up here, please? And we're not going to make you share. I know, sorry, more packing. So on behalf of the municipality and council, we hope that you enjoy these little souvenirs. Yeah.
I planned her holiday for next year. I'm gonna come back when it's planting time. South Florida wineries. Well, we can do both.
Well, we trust you'll bring us samples of all the wineries that you're going to be able to taste. Yes. They're the same. They're both the same.
We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it actually, and we'll miss all you guys.
Yes, well,
We're gonna have to see if we can find a council meeting down there.
yes, yes. And then you'll find out just how good our council is.
Yeah.
Want us to
take a video for you?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have been part of our municipality for these years. That's been great.
Making us feel so welcome.
That's yours? Yes. Yes. So you'll never forget us.
Never.
Ever,
Never.
ever. And we hope next journey of your life is as good as what it's been here.
Oh, that's very kind. We really enjoyed this.
I know. Yeah.
I just did so well.
And there's still some more, a few more wing nights to go. I know, I know. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Anita, you've got some big shoes to fill. All right. Anita, did you have any comments? You're allowed to speak now. This is the time you're allowed to speak. We all do. Yeah. It's, yeah, I find the community's thriving the last, I think all of council can, 3.5 years, yeah. It's 2.5 for you, yes. No, it's been thriving. And I have to give it to council. Every member of this council has worked really hard to make sure that things get done, as well as the staff is amazing here. It's just, I don't know how we would do it without them. So it's a good council and hope to see them back, all of us. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but this is a great bunch of people, and thank you. All right, I just have a couple of things to do. I need a resolution to adopt confirmation bylaw, moved by Renee and Dean. All those in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. A resolution to adjourn, moved by Bob and Dave. All those in favor? Thank you. So good night,
Yep.
folks. Oh, yes. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, okay. Hang on, Randy.
The Williams say thank you, Randy.
Oh, thank you.